For this next coming week, you need to be very, very, very careful, because if Apple, AVGO, and Google do reject, you are definitely going to break in these moving averages. These moving averages are going to be super easy to break also because they are really clumped up together. Now, we are floating above the 20 moving average on the triple Qs, and what this can look like is it can look like this. So let's actually zoom in really quick. And if you're above the 20 moving average right now, which pretty much every index is, you can float for a second. It's really going to come down to AVGO. So AVGO did have a push in the triple Qs. And then also Google and Apple, I'm going to show you those two in a second. If these start to reject just down to their moving averages, which is not hard, that is a super common thing, this is going to break us into the lower ends of around 555. Now Google hasn't really started to reject yet. If this does start to push, that's going to help. If Apple starts to push, this is, even though it doesn't look like a lot, Apple is actually very, very huge in the market. So if you actually look around this area to here, this is around $10 in the triple Qs just alone. So these three stocks haven't really rejected yet. But why would they reject, right? Well, if you actually look on the back end, so let's actually look on the back end of what the other Mega 7 are doing. Now, Meta also is just floating above its 20 moving average, but there is something I do want to show you on Meta. It does look like it's coming into a cross. So do not get fooled by that, because if all the other stocks are about to reject, and especially reject from their moving averages, Meta is definitely going to break and keep on dropping even like into the lower ends of around, I think the lower ends is around 450, something like that. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. Is it going to happen within a couple weeks? Maybe. It's definitely going to happen within a couple months. But usually when I talk in my episodes, I tell you about how the 10 and the 20, when they cross, they come into a bullish phase. Now, the only thing is you need all of the Mega 7. You need all of the indexes to actually cross at the same time, or around the same time, not the exact same day, but within the week and a half, 2 week time frame. There's not a lot of them. Meta is really the only one, but what you really need to pay attention to is those three stocks rejecting, and then also Amazon. Let's actually bring up Amazon. Sorry, I don't have really my charts set on default, but yeah, Amazon's right above that 20. If the Apple, AVGO, Google reject, this is definitely going to run down to around 214. And then also Tesla. Let's actually bring up Tesla's name. So Tesla is actually hitting the 50 moving average, sitting right a little bit above the 20 moving average, which is not going to be hard to reject here. This is going to be a high rejection zone. This is definitely going to test around 389 again, and maybe in the lower end of around 345, 340. On NVDA actually did break all the moving averages. It is in a super bear trend. I'm going to show you in a second what the moving averages. I just want to show you. But if you actually look at NVDA, if we actually zoom in, let's actually zoom into it, you can see it actually broke its 100 moving average. There is no support until 153. So if Apple and all of them start to reject, and if NVDA starts to reject, and if all the other ones follow along, 153 and the 200 moving average and all of the indexes are going to be hit very soon. On AVGO is also at a high rejection zone at the 10 and the 50 moving average. If this starts to reject, you're going to have your first support around 191 and then also around 150. If you actually look at Microsoft also, this is going to be a high rejection zone too. Let's actually pull up the percentages so you can see. Now on Microsoft, if this rejects, you do have a support around 466. It does have a lower end support from this last time, around 395. If you actually look at it, it's not really hard to understand. It's been going in this channel for a long time. So don't say it can't really go down to around 400. It's honestly easy. This is around 400 in the triple Qs right here. This is around 3 or around 640 something in the triple Qs. So around here is going to be around 475 in the triple Qs. So don't say, hey, I'm just going to go into 400 puts because I think that's a great idea. That's not a great idea. You got to remember, wherever the triple Qs is going to go, you're going to see that go. Also, let's actually look at this really quick, because I do want to talk about crypto one more time, because I know a lot of people are about to get wiped once again. Now, let's actually talk about this. So if the triple Q, say if it does go down to around 555, let's look at this last high Bitcoin was at around February 21st. So if you don't understand crypto, I do want to pull this up to just show you. Crypto follows the stock market. You can see how actually, let me back out so you can see it a little bit more clear. Might have to, well, I guess I can do the week chart. I guess I could. But here's Bitcoin right here in the blue. Here's the stock market. No other YouTuber is going to tell you this. Not even Ricky, not Ron. 99% of the crypto guys out there that put out crypto content, they don't tell you that crypto follows the stock market. No, crypto doesn't. The stock market does not follow crypto. Crypto follows the stock market. So let's actually look right here around February 29. That's where crypto is probably going to end, is probably around the 75. I mean, it could dip into the lower end of around 73 just to get that little push out of people. You know what I'm talking about? Just phase out people, especially people trying to buy calls in this, because I guarantee you there's a ton. Yes, you can do calls and puts in this on ETFs, but just be very careful, because if the stock market does decide to go around 445, you will see around a $70,000 Bitcoin once again. You can also do this with your small cap coins if you want to know that. Also on crypto, or on crude oil, you need to be very careful with crude oil, because if the market starts to give out, I'm not talking about like a small drop. I'm just saying in the long run, like within months and months and months. Let's actually withdraw this. Let's actually put up the triple Qs. So here's the triple Qs. Here's crude oil. If the market starts to have a small recession, not saying a stock market crash, because we do have to have a recession to cut rates. And the video I'm putting out tomorrow is going to talk about rates and recessions. You should definitely check that video out when I do upload it. But when we do have small corrections in the market, you do get a really strong crude oil pumping. So crude oil, if you don't understand crude oil, crude oil is one of my first things I traded. I was very fascinated with crude oil because mostly in 2008, it was just something, how it affected my family. My family was in the diesel industry, and I just wanted to know more about it. So if you don't understand how crude oil works, the Saudis, anything over there on the countries over there that do produce oil, their refineries base set is around $75. That's where they have the maximum setting into producing and pushing out crude oil. Anything above around $75 puts strains on their refineries. Anything less than $75, that is not producing, a lot. You're not 100%, So just be very careful, because if we do get a small correction in the market, which say 475, but King, the triple Qs can't go to 475. That's crazy talk. Guys, we're in 2025 now. $50 drops in the triple Qs or $100 rallies. We just got done with 130, what was it? No, we did $220. Yeah, we literally just did $220, $225 push in the triple Qs. If you don't think the triple Qs can have a small drop to around 440, 450 just to cut rates, because I'm going to talk about it tomorrow's episode, you should definitely check it out, you're crazy. Like, it's not really hard to understand. Plus, this channel has been going on forever. When I was pushing out videos nonstop around 540, 535, I was saying, hey, be very careful if this breaks the moving averages, which it did at that time. you're going to get a drop to the 400 mark. We hit that on point. It was really easy to call that out. A bunch of people in the Discord bought a bunch of calls. We made a bunch of money. There's a reason why I don't post my gains or anything besides in the Discord. So if you want to come in the Discord, I'm in there usually every day, every hour, just chilling. But if you want to come and talk to me, that's where I'm going to be. But if we do have a simple drop in that area of around 450, 475, whichever, depends on how long it takes to get down there, you're going to have a really strong push in crude oil once again. Maybe not $125 worth a barrel. That was pretty fun to trade back then. Or I was trading back here when it was around 125 right here also. But I don't think we're going to probably hit 125 probably for a long time. But you probably will see probably $100 a barrel or something like that once again. And if that does happen, that is definitely going to push your 9 stocks or your oil stocks. Also on DXY, DXY has been sitting on support also. If you don't understand this, I'll pull it up. It's the same thing as crude oil. When you have really small drops in the market, here's the triple Qs in the blue, you have really hard pumps in DXY. Not a lot of YouTubers tell you that. It's really kind of basic knowledge. Now, when you have really fast movements in the market, you're going to get a really offset DXY. But you can see how the market's been pushing really hard and DXY has been pushing onto lows. This was around 400 in the triple Qs in DXY. This is around 630 in the triple Qs. This is around 630 in the triple Qs. Sorry, I had a ding in the Discord, kind of threw me off. So just be very careful with this upcoming week. Let's see. I am going to post a video about federal rates and inflation, and I highly suggest seeing that video tomorrow. So sub to the channel. I'm going to be posting that probably around noon tomorrow, and that's going to be a video a lot of YouTubers don't talk about because either one, they don't understand it, or two, they just sell fear, or three, they just don't understand it. So sub to the channel. We'll see what happens, and good luck, my traders.